Well, it's that time again. Time to talk about Rimworld mechanics, and given I'm running out of workers... So yeah, gonna talk about how you get to recruit colonists in Rimworld. So first on our list is the classic Wanderer joined event. When you're playing the game of Rimworld, there's a chance suddenly some random person comes in and says they want to join you. Early on, this is great. After all, you need more hands, and even if they aren't the best in fighting, they can be useful in other things. Now, usually this event will trigger around in the early to mid game, as this is a simple way for the storytellers to keep your colony functioning fairly. So if you are low on people, you have a better chance of it happening. Keep in mind, this is for any event we talk about where you get new recruits. Though there is one way to constantly gain new recruits. If you have the ID Legend DLC, which by the way is a very fun DLC if you're thinking of buying it, you can set your rituals to have a reward of a new recruit. I'm sure a certain Brit would be happy to know that there are always ways to game the Rimworld system. The next event is the classic Man in Black event, though if you get this one, you might have more problems than a lack of people. See, the Man in Black only shows up when your colony is in danger, i.e. your colonists are all dead or dying, but probably dead and dying. A combination of both of these things. Plus, there is no guarantee said man is going to have the skills to save everyone. I don't recommend using this as a method to gaining new allies, as awesome as having a black duster wearing colonist is. Oh hey guys, just relaxing over a fine meal. While you're here, mind hitting that like button and subscribing. The bell icon is actually the most important button. There's also our Patreon, where $1 a month goes a long way, like not hiring psycho killers who eat people. Well, gonna need to get Bren his weapons back to the show. Wow, it's getting hot in here. If only there was a way to cool this place down. Has climate change got you sweating? Do you wish you could turn down the heat? Every day we contribute to the CO2 in the atmosphere. Ren offers a low-cost carbon offset subscription that helps plant trees, conserve land, and push a greener agenda. One of my favorite projects by Ren is biochar in California. Biochar helps prevent wildfires by clearing out old dead trees and turns them into biochar. This helps prevent forest fires in the future. Offset your carbon footprint with Ren. The first 100 people to sign up with the link in the description will have 10 extra trees planted in their name. What are they even doing up there? Well, they're lost, because we just got a transport pod crash event. Sometimes a random pawn will appear from the sky because who knows what is going on up there. So the pawn who shows up in random, sometimes they are from a neutral faction, not even on the map, so you can do whatever you want with them. Or they might be from a friendly faction. Saving them and letting them go back home gives you a good rep with the home faction, but imprisoning them will cause hostilities. Finally, there is a chance it's a hostile enemy. You can either kill them or capture them for whatever you want. Speaking of, take him to the dungeon. If a pawn is rescued, there is a chance they will be so grateful that they join you, but don't ever expect that to always happen. Like a random wanderer joining, the chance for that to happen is based on how many pawns you have. Alright, time to talk about prisoners. We all know the best way to get new blood in the base is to take a club and beat up anyone hostile. Not hostile or just in your line of sight, right in the back of the head. But what about after you put them in the cell? What then? Well, contrary to what you might think, there are some nuances to taking care of prisoners. First off, when you have a jail cell, try to have it near the medicine stockpile. When you have a severely wounded prisoner who happens to have that 14 in crafting you really want, well, it kinda sucks when your medic had to run 15 miles to get there. Now, it's usually a good idea to keep a prisoner's mood up. No one wants a berserk prisoner breaking out and then stabbing your dog, so here is what I recommend. Separate cells, each with a small table and a chair to eat at. A decent bed if you want comfort, or the worst ever bed you can make, since the more uncomfortable the bed, the more time they sleep, and you can't go nuts if you are asleep. You also can give them smoke leaf joints every once in a while to calm their nerves. Plus, if they do break out, they will be stoned, and it will be harder for them to fight back. As for the recruitment process, you have the process of reducing resistance and then actually recruiting with your wardens. The better social the warden has, the faster this goes. Pretty easy to understand. Though now with Rimworld 1.4, there is a new prison type who is 100% loyal to their faction. This means you can not recruit them, though you can do other things like enslaving them, harvesting organs from them, or selling them off to a slaver. Though you could always let them go. Okay, good one. Though there is another type of prisoner you can recruit out on the Rimworld. Their other type of prisoner is the one who calls out for aid and they can't Shawshank Redemption out of there. Sometimes you might get a call from someone who is imprisoned, and if you go out and take the time to take out a bandit encampment, you can get a free recruit. Best part, you don't actually need to bring the prisoner with you. If they don't have good stats, just leave them with their other loot. There is another variant. In the incapacitated refuge, they have fallen and can't get up, so it's up to you to run over and help them out. Same as the prisoner rescue, when you arrive you can see what they do before interacting with them and bringing them aboard. However, be warned, you never know what kind of hostiles could be around, from man-hunting animals to mechanoids to nothing. Yeah, never know, so be careful. The last kind of recruits can come from wild folk, people who have gone on a little wild out in the Rim. Unlike prisoners, you instead tame them like any other animal. I do find it amusing they also get mood debuffs like normal people, like if you feed them kibble or raw food. You'd think they wouldn't mind that sort of thing, but hey, what do you know? The last type of recruit you can get is also based on wild animals, the chased pawn. Be it chased by raiders or man-hunting animals, these pawns will call for aid and ask for sanctuary within your walls. I do not recommend getting recruits this way. The reason is they will not tell you what kind of pawn they are. You might get a man who can kick butt and chew bubblegum, or you might have a pawn so old they die before reaching your walls and still have a raid coming for you. I only recommend this in the early game where the raids and dangers are low, or if you are really desperate for pawns. So yeah, that's how you can recruit all the pawns in the base game. If I miss anything, well, blame Brent, though right now I think he has other things to worry about.